Quite an assortment of creatures they had witnessed this day indeed. And no stranger was the werewolf they found defending the path, showing its white fangs. Fortunately, it was day, so they weren't as nervous that it would attack, but they did wonder if they should approach. The boy was about to speak, when to their surprise, the werewolf directed his next words to the girl. To be treated like a queen, you expect it, teach it, nurture it. It was then that the girl noticed two small cubs nestled beneath their mother, and the girl realized this was a she-wolf, who undoubtedly insisted on her rightly queenhood. She bowed in respect, and she grasped the proffered emerald green stone, as green as the werewolf's eyes. They pushed into the crown.
Gem number 6. To be treated like a queen, you expect it, teach it, nurture it. Have you ever seen two lawns of grass settled one next to the other, and one is beautiful while the other lawn looks neglected? Weeds, dry spots, holes. How is it they can be so different when right next to each other? We may think we know what to do for a lawn until we really do take care of a lawn. We may think pulling up weeds is the answer, when maybe the right fertilizer is the key. We may think we're watering it right, when maybe a tree is blocking the sprinklers unbeknownst to us. We may throw our hands up in disgust, declaring, I'm just gonna start all over with Roundup and grass seed. Or, this yard makes moving to another house tempting. But if you keep doing what you really don't know how to do, it will stay the same, year to year and yard to yard. And you wonder how the next door neighbor can work the same soil with such promising results. After all, they are right next to each other. Such it is with marriage. How do the next door neighbors keep their lawn and their marriage so well? We may think another husband is the answer. Certainly the next partner we attract will have everything perfect for us, right? Unless we have the correct knowledge, tools, and supplies to figure out how to do it right, we'll continue this same process until we drop something, maybe the dandelion digger or our pride, and ask the neighbor just how they do it. Of course, our middle-aged neighbors tell us just the fertilizer to buy that everyone knows works, obviously. And, well, marriage, they say, just treat her like the queen she is. The queen lifts her shoulders and cocks her head like she doesn't know what they do, but it works. And we start to observe them through their windows in the next house over with that perfect lawn. They set the table and clean up the dinner together. They are doing small acts of kindness through the day, like bringing one a glass of water or a cozy pillow. They host others, where both look welcoming and fresh. Sometimes he surprises her, like with a small gift of jewelry or a sweet treat. Or they watch a funny video together. If she's mad, soon her husband has calmed her down, guiding her to a place where he can hold her hand and talk it out. Shame on you for your marriage help-stalking tendency to peep into their windows. So the next time their adult kids visit, you pull them aside onto your failing lawn and ask, hey, it seems like your parents have really got it together. What would you say they do that makes them so successful? Their adult kids look at each other, then start talking. They listen to each other and don't try to fix, unless specifically asking for solutions. I've heard them ask one habit or mannerism one can change for the other. This doesn't mean the one has to do it, but isn't it nice to know what would make the other more comfortable? They let each other take a break from something for a while, like hiring out the yard work when it gets too much, or giving her a break in the kitchen while he experiments with his new air fryer and she cuddles up with a good book. They ask about each other's life or day, then hone in or follow up on something to show they care about what the other cares about. One daughter laughs, and if you don't care about it, like mom not liking car racing, you can lightly and jokingly let them know, but you still care about them. They acknowledge the things each other does that they like how nicely dad folds the laundry. They support each other's dreams and goals, like when mom went back to school. They express appreciation how each likes to receive it, my mom with words, my dad with affection. And his son finishes off the list. One thing I once heard my dad ask when he didn't know I was listening was he asked her how he could be a blessing to her. If marriage is a blessing one to another, what does that even look like? You thank them as they saunter to their backyard towards a savory-smelling barbecue. What else would you add to this list that is working for you? So often we can see the dry spots in the lawn and really focus on what is not working in our yard, but we can instead see what is really working. Like maybe we really do have a handle on the weeds in the yard, maybe better than we even realize. One definition of insanity: doing the same thing again and again, expecting different results. Be willing to change and be humble, and know that one day we may be the one with the perfect yard telling our neighbor exactly what we've done. How to be treated like a queen? Expect it, teach it, nurture it, just like the verdant lawn. If you visit a castle or a fancy establishment, it goes without saying that you expect the lawn will be gorgeous. I once visited a museum in the heart of Salt Lake City that had me double-taking my approach to the building. Where is the entrance? Is this really the address of the museum? Then we noticed a few signs around that said, "We are letting nature take its course." That was the subconscious symbol. We questioned the entrance to the building because the grounds had been severely neglected, even attracting garbage among the natural growth. You expect the surroundings of something nice to also be nice. You expect the respect and honor and courtesy and kindness and love of someone worth it, because you are totally worth it, because you are totally worthy of it. Henry Taylor says, "A happy home is where the wife is treated like a queen and the husband is treated like a king." And so it is not only marrying the right partner, it is being the right partner. You expect a lush green lawn. You've given your lawn attention, but it doesn't overtake your day or your life. It's the right balance of attention. It's controlling what's yours, not what is your spouse's. If one of you has a bad day, that doesn't mean everyone's day becomes bad. You expect love because it's always there with you, overflowing when you let it, and everyone benefits. To be treated like a queen, you teach it. It took me much talking to my own neighbors to find out just the method for a thick green lawn. The fertilizer brand, the best feeding and watering schedule of grass of those living in a desert, and my own figuring out the most effective weed management. A queen acts and speaks assertively about how she will be treated. Through calm and patient teaching, I expect my quarters will be ready by 9 p.m. I take my tea at 3 p.m. on the veranda. Is this preposterous to expect? Well, if she doesn't set a standard, who can know how to follow it? Or worse, take time and effort forever doing what doesn't work. And in the end, if tea doesn't show up, she takes matters into her own hands. She is in her own power. You teach by being knowable, easy to cater to, using boundaries when necessary, imparting your wishes and desires, but having humility enough to know sometimes you must be your own creator of the things you want and need, but they have been expressed, so there's no question. And conversely, a queen is open to knowing. She is observant and aware of her subjects, of her staff, of her king. She possesses the 3 wisdoms of 1. The ability to truly listen to herself, to others, to God. 1 Corinthians 3:19 says, "For the wisdom of this world is foolishness with God." In other words, give full credit to God for wisdom for living well. The second wisdom, the wisdom of contemplating and meditating. She uses her God-given reasoning to access information, knowledge, and eventual wisdom and truth. And the third wisdom, the gift of deciding, doing what is best for everyone involved through divine accessing, inner strength, and the power of her mind. And lastly, she nurtures her queenhood through self-knowledge. Am I really worthy of being treated like a queen? Self-acceptance, self-care. She fills the problem areas. If I don't get my tea at 3 p.m., My royal butler may need further instruction or a new timepiece. She knows what she wants and trusts those needs will be met. She perseveres for what she wants with commitment and patience. A queen doesn't just sit on her regal throne and make demands. She works in behalf of her people. She attends meetings and administers law. She visits charities and hosts events. She encourages certain courses of action and warns against others. She acts purposely, intentionally, and kindly. To nurture your queenhood, you get in touch with your heavenly makers for reminders on what it means for you to be treated like a queen. Now for a date and dessert idea: crumpets and croquet. And since I've done neither of those, how about cheesecake and pickleball?